Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining me and my very special guests. They are one of Broadway's favorite couples, and I love catching up with them. You know them from their stunning work on stage and screen, and this coming Sunday night, January 31st at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, they will kick off their brand new concert together with Seth as part of his Seth concert series that streams right here at BroadwayWorld. Please say hello to my friends, Ashley Spencer and Jeremy Jordan.
Hey,
hello.
Richard.
Thank you so much. I love every time I see you and everybody else, everyone's in a different area of their house to do these in.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is our daytime spot because it's
The sun's
natural
coming
lighting.
through, yeah.
First off, how are you two since we caught up last?
Good.
Doing well, still in shock a little bit that we're still doing this.
When did we last talk to Richie? What was it like at the beginning?
It was early on, yeah.
We were really early on. You know, we're getting ready to enter our 11th month since the New York theater shut down. I mean, I used to go by days, and then it was turning into like 340, 350. But, you know, both of us talked very early on when everybody was sort of trying to find their way through this all and find a new normalcy. Like, has it changed a bit for, I should say, not just the two of you, all three of you? Have things changed a bit, made it a little easier?
I think we've just gotten better at like scheduling things to create some sort of order or normalcy, you know, and especially now since it's winter and we're really stuck inside a lot because it's cold, you know, so we try to schedule our days to, like, I don't know, make us feel better about like having a day. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean the only real difference I think is the cold and not being able to like go sit outside somewhere or go for walks, long walks. I mean, we still will go, but it's, you know, it's like 20 degrees out right now.
So we're inside more often than not.
But you know, it's feeling normal, which is unfortunate, but you know, at least it's better than feeling I know why I look red. It's because light's reflecting off this red jacket.
Oh my God.
Okay, sorry, I couldn't figure out why I look pink, and now I understand why.
Like I said, I got a new ring light, so it's like it varies between yellow and blue, and then there's a mixture. It's all crazy.
Yeah.
It's like, you know?
Listen, I mean, we got the ring light game going, but we decided for natural lighting at the moment.
We definitely learned how to adapt a lot more. You know what I mean? Like just, you know, realizing the things that we need, you know, to make things work and to work for ourselves.
Trying to cook more. We didn't really cook that much before all this happened.
No, and now we're master chefs.
That's not true.
Yes, it is. I was going to ask you,
I am.
Who's better at it? Who's the better chef in the home?
I wouldn't say better, but I would say that I cook more.
Yeah. She prefers to cook. I will offer to help, and generally she's like, I got it. But I'll do the chopping.
When you help me chop and prep stuff.
Yeah, you know, I'm like the sous chef.
But he made flatbread pizzas the other night, and I was into it. It was really delicious, and I didn't have to make it.
You literally just put stuff on a piece of bread and put it in the oven. It's like,
but it was good.
Thank you.
Listen, that's an art because you can burn it and you can take it out too early where it's mushy. Don't knock your flatbread pizzas. You know, we've been living on chicken and turkey. That's what we live on. So it's like, is there a variety? Is there a special meal that you two are like, oh my gosh, it's Thursday, we're going to make this tonight?
No, but I'm really into pasta dishes. I enjoy a hearty pasta dish.
One of my favorites is chicken parmesan, and she learned how to make that, and I was like, all right, we're good.
Yeah.
Okay, because that's Rob Diamond's favorite. Just so you know, wherever they moved over the course of their New York apartments and their home now, they were like, I've got to Google where there's really great chicken parm. Seriously.
Yeah, I haven't found a really great one out where we are, but
it's not that hard to make. And it's really good when you make it at home.
Oh, I'm going to have Rob Diamond Google you. I guarantee you. You just tell him the area you're in. It'll be like, boom, here are the top 3 chicken parms in your area, and they deliver.
That's amazing.
Fair enough.
I call the world you two live in now Life with Clara.
Yep.
I mean, what is it like? How magical and wonderful is that world? It must be really great, especially during this shutdown that you're all home together, all 3 of you. What's it like?
It's amazing. She's changing so much and she's talking so much more. I just love, I mean, the day to day, she changes every single day and says new things every single day. And it's fun to watch her.
Yeah, she's kind of getting to that point where she's able to communicate with us better. Like the beginning of pandemic, I mean, she was sort of talking here and there, but not really, like really not at all.
Yeah.
Maybe mama and dada, and now she's like
singing songs. She can sing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star.
Yeah, I mean, and she'll make requests. She'll ask us. She'll tell us what she wants. I mean, she'll pick up. You know, my favorite new word that she started saying is delicious. She goes. Yes.
It's like they get fed. They're like, "Ooh, this is really good." No, because I love the videos. I know you don't post a lot of stuff, but you've sort of given us. I'm an uncle 10 times over. So I've watched all the youngins grow from like, you know, the day they're born till like 22 years old. And I love how old she is now. Because what is Clara, 21 months?
She's 21 months. Well, I have to tell you, Richie, you have special privileges because those aren't public videos. Those are just for our select few friends.
Well, I very much appreciate that because I have done nothing but smile over these. It's so great. But I love, like, let's talk about reading. Like you posted a beautiful little video of Ashley trying to read to her at night, all her stuffed toys and everything else. What is that like? Like try to have her sit down as you read a book to her.
You can't really expect her to sit. You just have to kind of let her come to you because she is just like, go, go, go. So like, I've just come to terms with the fact that like, I'm going to sit and I'm going to open this book and I'm going to just start reading. And then she can walk around me. She gets up, she sits down, and she eventually lands like somewhere near me or in my lap. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, she likes to turn the pages and like her favorite books, she knows what pages are her favorite.
Yep.
And she's like, during like the Christmas time, there was a book that had Santa on the last page. So she would just open the book to the last page and say, Santa.
Santa. She loved Santa.
And, you know, there's just like different images and stuff that she's grabbing onto, which is good because, I mean, really only recently has she started to sit still long enough to even read a couple pages.
But also the more that we get into whatever we're reading, the more into it she is. So if we do voices or, you know what I mean? Stuff like that, she's really like, she's much more engaged and into it.
And her piano lessons, I mean, how are those coming along?
She, you know what, today I was in the other room and she walks in. She knows how to she can get on the piano bench and sit at the piano, which is a little scary. She hasn't fallen off yet, thank God. But I'm like in the next room and I hear her go plunk, 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 clap, clap, plunk, plunk, happy, 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 clap. She was trying to play If You're Happy and You Know It for herself, and then clapping, and then playing, and then stomping. She's going to figure it out pretty soon.
Yeah. And I know she knows her ABCs already, right? And she can count a bit too?
She can count to 10 all by herself.
Yeah.
She's been able to do that for a few months now, which is like, I'm so proud.
Yeah, I mean, what else are we gonna do all day except just be like, do this, say this, repeat this? And she catches on really easily.
Yeah.
But it must be so great because, you know, it's funny. My youngest brother was brought up all around the adults. Everybody like took him and he like learned to talk and do all this stuff very quick as opposed to little kids who are just around little kids. So I think it's really great that one of the great things about this pandemic is that the three of you are this unit and you're like, let's read, let's sing, let's learn the ABCs or whatever, right?
That's definitely one of the biggest positives out of all this. But I also like the other side of the coin. You know, I wish that she, you know, could meet other kids her age and play. Like she's not getting to engage in that way. She's with mommy and daddy and Riley all the time. But you know, when she does get to, like, she has seen her cousins, my sister's kids, like twice or, a few times when we've, you know, taken that risk and seen family, you know, during these times. And she loves it. She wasn't strange about it.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, good. Because I was concerned that like when she would see other kids, that she'd be like, wait, there are other people in this world other than mommy and daddy.
No, she loves other people. Like somebody will come to the door and deliver something or the mail person will come. I'll open the door and she'll stand there and say hello and wave and
She's
just have a big old
friendly.
smile on her face.
Yeah.
That's great. What were the holidays like for you this year? Because they were scattered for so many people. I mean, like My family is just way too big. So everybody like had like little cocoons of like 6 people, and everybody quarantined for like 14 days before. Some people stayed home. Some people traveled. Like, what were the holidays like for you 3?
Yeah, I mean, Ashley's family is really small. So there's 4 of us and a couple kids, 6 of us and a couple kids. And her parents don't go anywhere. We haven't been anywhere. And
well, you had.
Well, not really prior to that. I had quarantined for a little bit of time before that.
Right.
And then, I suppose there's always a little bit of always a little bit of risk, but we wanted to be with somebody. So we spent a week in Ohio and drove there and drove back, and everything's fine. We have no issues, thankfully, and we have not gone anywhere since. So we've just been in this house.
No, good for you two. I think that's really great, because I think everybody sort of said, how can we do this in the safest way with the smallest group of people? Like I said, you have a beautiful young daughter who you want to, introduce to the family members and everything else. I have to tell you, a dear friend of ours sent my husband Preston and I some sweets that came from Ohio from Sugar Therapy.
Oh.
So, before I tell you how obsessed we are with that, Ashley or Jeremy, tell everybody what Sugar Therapy is.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited that you mentioned that. That's so cool. My sister Megan, she's been an avid baker. She loves baking things like her whole life. And she finally decided during this pandemic that she was going to, start her own home baking business. So she bakes out of her home. I made her business cards for Christmas, and she was so thrilled just to get her started. And she finally joined Instagram. I was like, if you're going to do this, you got to get on Instagram and really sell it. And her stuff is so delicious. So I'm so happy that she's now sharing it, at least with people in Ohio, in the Columbus area. And so, if you're in the Ohio, Columbus area, please, go to sugartherapy.com and order some delicious goodies from my sister. You won't be disappointed.
Okay, so I'll tell you what we were obsessed with. We were obsessed with the Buckeye roll, because I'm a huge chocolate and peanut butter. So that thing did me in.
My gosh, I can't wait to tell her.
The ice lemon crinkle cookies were killers, and the snickerdoodles.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
We grew up. That was one thing that we made with my dad. Because my mom would bake, and she's an amazing baker as well. But when mom would be gone, dad would make snickerdoodle cookies with us, and that has stuck with us. So that's one of the big things that she makes. And she loves baking with lemon. That's another favorite of hers. I'm so glad that you loved it.
Okay, so I'm going to get the lemon tart. So we're waiting. So my friend who lives there is going to sort of I hope that she opens up, she starts mailing stuff across the United States. You have to move her into that business too.
I think she's just trying to start it and see,
It's
and
a couple months at this point.
Yeah, but I definitely will let her know.
When did she start? In November or something? It's just recently, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was in the fall sometime. So not that long ago. So she's trying to get, people interested and, followers and,
Oh, I've been following her on Instagram.
Partners and get her to start getting a distribution.
I'm trying to get her involved to go to the farmer's market, in the spring, summertime in her town, just so that she can. Yeah, this is so cool.
I told you this had nothing to do, but seriously, my friends around the United States are like, oh my God, I live here. I have this fabulous new place to buy these great sweets. So we literally lived on these. I just want to let everybody know that the website you have to check out is www.sugartherapybymegan.com and follow her on Instagram. You will look at the pictures of these incredible sweets that you'll be like, I have to get these. They're it's heaven. It's like eating heaven. So I wanted to throw that back at you all, because I'm sure when you went home, I'm sure you lived on that stuff for desserts when you were home, right?
Oh my gosh, yes.
And then she would, and then anytime that she would come visit us, she would just use our kitchen for practice before she opened up her business, and there would just be food everywhere. I'm like, no, that's not fair.
Because then we want to eat it all.
Well, you have that show kitchen too. You could do a Megan Cook show, and you could film it right in your kitchen.
Naturally.
Totally.
Like I said, well, now we got to talk about Sunday. Okay, this coming Sunday night, January 31st at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you will both be live with Seth Rudetsky as part of his Seth concert series. How excited are the two of you doing this together?
I'm thrilled because this is the first time. I mean, I did a Sirius XM show with Seth 100 years ago, or it feels like 100 years ago, in like 2008 when I was in Greece.
Before we met.
Yeah. So I'm super excited because Jeremy's done, many shows. He's traveled, all over doing shows with Seth and done 2 of these now virtually. But this is my first time. So I'm very excited.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. I mean, it's a nice little way to do something during the pandemic without leaving your house, and they've got it set up so where he can play live with us, which is still doesn't make any sense to me in my like technology brain how there's no lag, but they figured it out.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's fun, and it's just. It's going to be chill, and we're going to sing a whole bunch of duets and do some belting and hopefully not wake the baby up. And yeah.
So I was going to ask you, what kind, you have fans all around the world, both of you, that will be tuning in. That's the coolest thing about this. So can you tell us maybe what some of the shows you'll be singing from, or some of the songs or composers? Like, what have you been working?
I mean, it's all Broadway, I think, for the most part. We've split it up, so we're each doing 3 solos, and then it's like 6 or 7 duets. So we really like jump into the duet thing. Had to get another mic. I mean, we're literally just going to be like this close to each other singing.
That's going to be very interesting because it's a tight frame, and so singing duets, we're going to kind of be like.
I mean, I suppose we could back
side-eyeing,
up. We could back up. We could back up and be like deeper in the frame. But
I love that side eye. I love that. It's like, hey, Jeremy. Hey, Ashley, it's like you're right there with each other.
Yeah. But I mean, it is what it is. So it's, but yeah, so we're doing some songs from shows we've been in, and some of our favorites that we've done, a few things that we've done in our concerts together that we're reprising, which will be fun, and maybe a couple new things that you never heard before.
Ooh, okay.
I'm taking a risk in singing something, and this is something that pre-pandemic Ashley would never have done, because I would have been scared to try to sing something that I've never done before, really. Because it's kind of short notice. We decided to do this, and it's been 2 weeks, or it will have been 2 weeks.
I have no sense of time.
Regardless, I'm taking a risk, and I'm just going for it and singing something. One of my songs is from a very well-known show that everybody knows, but something that I have never done in any capacity. Never sang it before live. Never done it in an audition.
This is going to be great.
It's going to be good. I'm excited, though, because it's a big song. So I'm going for it. And
then if anybody's wondering, for all of my 3 solos, I haven't planned anything. And so we're just going to take requests and see if I can remember the lyrics of whatever we decide to sing. Because I've done so many shows with Seth before, because we've, like Ashley said, we've traveled around the country doing concerts together. So he has all of my, standard repertoire. So we're going to see what he decides to play for me.
But you never know. How much fun is it doing this with Seth? Because you never know where he's going to go, or say, remember you were in high school, you did this show. I
don't know where he gets all this information. He must have like a research team or something, because he always comes up with some random stuff. And I'm like, how did you know that?
Oh, boy.
No, I don't. What does he got to dig up on you? You have no dirt.
I have no idea.
You have no dirt. You
got
a clean record.
I would love it if he could find out what I did in high school, or what Yeah. I would be intrigued.
No, that's what we do, though. That's what we theater journalists do. We go back, like, oh my God, Jeremy, did this in high school. Ashley did this, at Canton Ballet when she wanted to be,
Yes, Richard.
Well, that's all I can do. It's just I fill myself with this so easily. It's what it is.
Awesome.
Love that.
So, what part of your house have you turned into a studio?
Well, we haven't really turned anything into a studio. The problem is that anytime we have to record things or do stuff like that, it's at night, or usually, or while Clara's asleep, And the best possible spaces in our houses to be like a studio are very close to her room.
Yeah.
And so unless we like got a soundproof booth or something, it's, it hasn't worked. And we also have a big basement, but it's like an echo chamber. Mm-hmm. And so our compromise is that we go to the living room on the other side of the house by the front door. It's where our piano is. And it's, it's not dead sound. It's a little echoey, but there's room to set things up, and we have our lights. Mics there. We can do lights, and it's far away enough from her room that we don't run any risk of waking her up. The problem is that like if either of us want to do any sort of work, on our own, the other person has to like go in the bedroom or go somewhere else because there's not a lot of privacy to our vocal studio.
No, because I was going to say everyone's, I had Kelly O'Hara here last week, and Kelly kicked off Seth's virtual series. And she said, the Wi-Fi kept going out. And it was like, none of us cared. I mean, Seth has perfected this so beautifully with his sound team. And because early on, it was sort of like, people are like, oh my God, he's playing, you'd hear the piano 12 seconds later, you're singing, and then it would feed back to him. Then it would try to be put together. I mean, he's really perfected how this is done.
The first time I did it, it was a little glitchy. And now they sent me a 100-foot long Ethernet cable so I could hook my computer up directly to the box that we get the signal from. So there's no Wi-Fi. It's just straight up wired connection, which is pretty good.
I have to say, because you've done this before, but I was not concerned. I was just nervous because it's different and new. And I was like, what's it going to sound like? I don't know. We had our first sound check on Tuesday just to like go through some stuff. And Jeremy's like, here, put these on. And he put these in-ear monitors, which I've also never worn before. And I was like, oh my God, okay. Put these in-ear monitors in. And I could hear, it was like the heavens opened up and I could hear absolutely everything. And it was in perfect time. I could hear Jeremy. I could hear the piano. It was like magic. It was so strange. But it's almost like singing in a studio.
Yeah, it is. It's basically like being in a studio. I mean, you can take an ear off and hear yourself a little bit better, but I mean, I got all this fancy sound equipment now. Like I had to buy something that had two headphone outputs so that, because I turned mine up and she's like, you're too loud. No, you're too loud. I was like, well, I can hear myself.
Well, we were connected to the same thing. So if we turned it up, we needed to be on different.
So we need to sell a few extra tickets to offset those expenses because that stuff's not cheap.
Trust me, but this is all the new now. I mean, this is crazy with people having to work out of your house. And then you look at someone like, I have a $1,100 microphone. That one's got a $5,000 microphone. This person has this. It's like no one's competing, but it's like, I want their sound. I want their lighting. It's like, I have a 90-foot Ethernet cord that Rob sent me, just so you know. It runs from my router into this.
Yeah.
It's crazy how it all works, right?
It's like, how are we going to adjust going from once we've mastered all of this, and then when things open back up, we're going to be like, but what? Yeah. We know how to do all this now. So how are we going to transition back into
the problem is that anytime we do like a sound check or anything, and that cable is literally strung across our entire first floor. Clara cannot be anywhere around it because she will just be like, what's this? Because our cable box is like attached to the wall behind the TV. So I mean, she could pull down the whole set.
Yeah. So are like rehearsals for the rest of the week going to be between nap time? It's like, because you have it like this way, or is Jeremy going to do his solos while you're with Clara, Ashley, or vice versa? Like, it's got to be.
We had to get a sitter for the sound checks, and then the concert itself is going to be at 8, so she'll be.
You watch in the middle of this and be like, I want to come downstairs and see the concert.
Yeah. She's not quite that communicative yet.
Totally.
She might. Sometimes she lays up in bed and just talks herself and sings to her. She goes to sleep with a Paddington bear, and she'll just talk and sing to it. And
she likes sleep time, doesn't she? I think. Does she like to go to sleep?
When we put her to bed, she gets very excited, and she started saying, night night, night night, night night.
And we're like, okay, closing the door.
I don't know.
Like,
She doesn't say
"Yay."
anything else like that, but for some reason she go, night. And she's so excited, like so happy to go to bed. I'm like, I'm not going to complain about that.
That is great. Close the door. Does she sleep straight through? Does she do like 8 hours or?
Oh, she does close to 12.
Yeah, she sleeps about 12 hours.
Yeah.
So
that's pretty great. That is really.
How long it's gonna last, but it's lasted.
I couldn't sleep 12 hours if I tried.
No.
Like,
no, I mean, I started to get cramps after 8 or 9. I'm like, okay, no, I gotta get out of bed.
It's like time. Now, have you had to do self tapes at home too? Have you had to do any of those?
I just did one.
A few. Yeah, not a whole lot because hasn't been a whole lot going on, but a few.
So do you read for each other? Because I love to talk to couples that they're sort of like,
yeah. Well, I mean, we've done self tapes for each other for years. So yeah, we're pretty used to it. Being in New York you're always doing self tapes for people back in LA, and now it's for everybody. But yeah, we've always read for each other and been each other's cameraman and
He's
directors.
taught me a lot. He's taught me a lot because I've never done anything on film or TV with that or booked a job, and so but he has obviously it will happen, but he has so much experience, and so he's been very helpful in like setting up shots and helping me like find when there's like multiple people in a scene, where to look and make it interesting. And it's a huge, learning curve, but it's super helpful.
Yeah. I mean, I personally hate putting myself on tape. I think I would much prefer to be in the room with people and like have a connection and a conversation with them, be like, hey, how was your day? Like vibe off of one another. And then you can read the sides. And for me, that's way more interesting and less pressure because I feel like I hope this doesn't come off wrong, but I feel like I can walk in the room and kind of like turn on charm a little bit and give myself some bonus points in that. And here's the deal, Richie. I've probably put myself on tape 150 times. Never gotten anything.
Wow.
Go in the room.
Yeah.
It's a different story. So hopefully we can turn the tides here because I don't think I'm going in any rooms anytime soon. But
Ashley, you're digging the self tapes. I know a lot of people who are like, oh, I can just do this again, or I can just change
off a self tape.
I have booked off a self tape, and for theater, actually, which I feel like is even harder almost because, I don't know. That is very much about your presence and like making an impression to the creative team and like, being there in person. I feel like you benefit more in theater auditions being there.
Yeah.
Obviously. But yeah, I benefit more from it because I get less nervous. I'm in control of what I'm producing and what I'm putting, out there and sending to them. And I feel more comfortable doing that.
Yeah. See, I am a control freak.
Yeah.
So being in control doesn't necessarily equal positive experience. It's like, well, this has to be perfect. And then it's never perfect. And she's like, we've been doing this for an hour, Jeremy. I need you to stop. It's good enough. Send it. I was like, fine. Whereas if you go in the room, you get one shot. That's all you got.
No, it's so interesting because we have so many actors of every age and youngins who, the pandemic, out of college, they couldn't do their college things at the end of the year and all this stuff when agents came to look or whatever else. And, it's just so interesting that some people are like, what is the secret to a really good audition? I mean, you started to talk about this. I mean, all these kids are like, when you open the door, like, where do you put those voices right away? Like, do you just say, hi, here I am, and you just sort of present yourself? Like you said, it's so weird because you never know what you're going to do when you walk into that door, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a good advice is not knowing what you're going to do when you walk in the door.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as you are confident in yourself and know that you're prepared and you just go in there and be yourself, because that's what they're looking for. They're looking for the person that they're going to be working with,
I think it's a misconception sometimes. I mean, I've heard, people say to students or whatever that like, oh, walk in and be the character immediately when you walk in. And I disagree with that because I feel like they need to see who they're going to be working with, like Jeremy just said. And I feel when I walk into a room, I am actually more comfortable making direct eye contact, and I go up to the table and I introduce myself. I don't just stand back and like, okay, wait for them to tell me to sing or whatever. Cause I think it's important that they see that you are approachable, and personable. You know what I mean? And there's a difference between what you were presenting. Like,
and it can be a fine line too, especially with television and film. They tend to be a little less imaginative, as a rule. And so if you can, it's nice to find little hybrids, you know, like where can I sort of leave elements of myself, but then still come into the room and they can say, oh, that could be that character. You know, it's like, it's a weird, but here's the thing. I don't know when anybody's going in a room again.
I think that's my next question.
I need to learn how to do tape. Somebody needs to teach me.
He's being way too hard on himself. He's great at going.
Well, I've decided the next tape that I do, I'm just gonna open it by just talking about my day and be like, "Hey guys, how you doing? This is my basement. I'm just hanging out. Hey, say hello, Ashley. How's it going? Oh, there's my dog over there. It's great, lovely weather. It's 20 degrees here in Jersey. Read the script, really great script. Really liked it. Yeah." I might make a couple changes here and there, but we should do the scene. Yeah. Okay. And then just do this.
Okay. Everybody watching this would be like, I'm going to do the Jeremy Jordan approach. That's what I'm going to do for my next self-tape.
Well, I haven't gotten the guts to try it yet, but who knows?
Well, like I said, back to the concert. I mean, what it's really one of the positives about this pandemic is, you know, people can't really fly anywhere or go anywhere, and nobody wants to sit in a big room because, you know, you would sell out rooms or whatever. But anybody can see you. Your worldwide fans, so both of you can just purchase a ticket and watch this concert all at the same time, either Sunday night or Monday for the replay at 3 p.m. in a safe space, and all experience this together. And that must make the two of you feel so great.
Yeah.
I really love that people from anywhere, all over the world, like people who, like you said, normally, like, you know, pre-pandemic when we would, you know, do a concert in a big concert hall or venue, couldn't come over to the US and see the concert. And then it wasn't streamed and they were just hoping that somebody was, you know, bootlegging and putting it on YouTube. No, so, but they're actually going to get to experience it. And that's something that I think is so special. And we're really connecting with everyone, which is awesome.
Yeah. But while at the same time, like, not connecting with anyone. Because there's no applause. It's just us. And so what I like about that is it just feels more casual. There feels like there's less pressure. If you mess up, you can start and stop and start over. And, you know, it just feels a little bit more personable and a little less pressure too. I mean, not that I don't love having a live audience there, but
I think it's a great, I think it's you two and Seth. I mean, it's just going to be it's going to be so funny to begin with. There'll be so much comedy on top of all this stuff. And like you said, the three of you are just going to have an incredible time together on Sunday and Monday.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Now we have to talk about your special VIP sound check ticket. Now, not everybody does this. This is amazing because I've watched a lot of these, and this has to be so extra special for fans because, you know, most people go to the theater, they sit down, the curtain goes up, and there's this big, fabulous show. You know, the sound checks are so wonderful the way that Seth does them with. I mean, how excited are you two to do that?
I haven't done that with him yet. So that's going to be a new thing, and I'm going to have to try to watch my mouth. And try not to, like, I don't know. It'll be fine. I'm gonna have to, like, set everything up early.
Totally.
Ashley, what about for you? You know, or not. It'll be like you show up for the sound check and it's like hairs everywhere, like the camera's all over to the side and all this stuff, and then you show them back in the show and we're all like perfectly made up and lit.
People love that. That's what Ashley, what are you looking forward to?
I know. We have some tempo things to go. I mean, the cool thing is that, like, the people who are going to be viewing this with the VIP tickets, you're really going to get to, you know, get a view into, you know, prep, like what it's like preparing and like going over, and you're not going to just see the polished, you know, performance. So you'll get a sneak peek. And I think that's really cool because a lot goes into this. It's not just, we don't just appear on stage when we're, you know, at a venue or in our living room or whatever and like sing perfectly. Like It's a process.
We don't.
No.
No, but that's the great thing about this, though, because I've been watching all the sound checks, and it's a treat. It actually is a VIP treat for an audience member. They're all fans of yours anyway, so to watch you prep to do this, that's what's making these all so special. They get to see you rehearse. I mean, I think that's going to be so cool. And then at 8:00, they're going to see you, like I said, all zhuzhed up and the ring lights and your 100-foot Ethernet cable all set up and everything else. Have you picked outfits yet? Have you decided what you're going to wear?
I have an idea. I might wear a jumper, or like a jumpsuit, a sleeveless jumpsuit that I've been wanting to wear because I literally wear sweatpants every day.
Yeah, I was gonna wear a sleeveless jumpsuit.
Yeah. Well, that could be cool too, but it just has to be a different color.
We're only gonna see the top part of it.
Totally.
Yeah.
Interesting.
What are you gonna wear?
I have no idea. Have you met me?
You could literally wear like boxers and a shirt because nobody would know.
Yeah. I could wear this shirt and a blazer over it and it'd be fine, which I've done. Yeah, I'm not really worried about it. I'm more worried about not forgetting my lyrics and having a good time. And
you're going to have an incredible time.
That Ashley gets to do it too. So that's going to be the best part for me is getting to watch her do it.
I miss singing, so I am really looking forward to this. Not only to sing with him, it's always fun to sing with my husband, but I miss it more than you know.
Now that we have the separate monitors, she's just going to turn me down a little bit.
Because everybody I've spoken to during this whole time said they got so emotional, just like rehearsing songs, like I'm doing a concert. It's like it's something you sort of put on the back burner.
Right.
Knowing when it was going to come back. And it was like, they said, just to sing again and hear Seth play and just put, it's so emotional. I guarantee you it's going to be so great on Sunday for both of you.
Looking forward to it. Yeah.
So I tell our audience again, Jeremy and Ashley will be live this coming Sunday night, January 31st at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then a rebroadcast on Monday, February 1st at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Seth Concert Series is produced by Mark Cortali. It is sponsored by BroadwayWorld and StreamYard. Tickets are available here at Broadway World Events and at SethConcerts.com, or just Google these two. The tickets are only $28.50. I mean, it's really, really, I'm going to be there Sunday and Monday.
Hey, Richie.
Oh, I love these things. I just sit there. I put my shirt and my tie on. I sit there with an iced tea or something. I just get, say, I'm like, Preston, it's 7:58. Sit on the couch. You
put a shirt and tie. You put a shirt and tie on to watch a virtual concert.
Listen, I was doing these casual, as you know, all these, and just like in 2021, I said I'm just going to put a shirt on and a tie just to do these interviews. I don't know. I just wanted to zhuzh it all up.
Feel good. Makes you feel good.
It makes you feel like you. Yeah. I mean, you do more. You would do even more than that if you actually were out in the real world.
Oh yeah, totally. But this is our real world we have now. I just want to talk to you about a few things that since we caught up last. Some of the fun things you've done. I mean, we talked about the holidays. I mean, we talked about sugar therapy, which, like I said, I'm obsessed with. And I have one more snickerdoodle in the freezer, so that's gonna be. I think I'll pull that out Sunday night. Jeremy, you made your Hallmark Christmas movie debut.
Yeah.
This fall. Let's talk about it with Holly and Ivy. We were obsessed with all of those too. How much fun was it doing that?
Well, it was a little difficult because we were shooting a Christmas movie in Utah in 100-degree weather. So it was crazy. But no, it was nice to take a little reprieve. I mean, it was a little scary actually because that was in July, and it was one of the first things to start shooting back when people started. So we had a couple of little COVID scares here and there, but we somehow finished and got through it. And but it was weird. But I mean, the movie was cute, and it was a cute little script. And I've never done any of those kinds of movies. And what's really interesting is that they have this, like, I don't know if it's a secret, but they are basically required to have Christmas in every shot. So in every shot, there has to be something Christmassy. And I was like, this is so very like meticulous in this, just how like specific and how plotted out this Christmas movie brand is. It was actually really remarkable. And then the fans are I had no concept of Hallmark fans, and they are widespread, and like not just the ones that you would think they would be. You know, it's and I kind of realized that Hallmark movie fans are basically people that just want to watch something with a happy ending.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like anyone from
doesn't.
so like anyone from
Especially
you
now.
know, a housewife to you know, an old couple to young kids in college that just want to like a dose of something something happy and fun. And then I just did another one, not a Christmas one, but it's coming out the week after Valentine's Day, that we shot in Malta, which is really fun. I get to play twins.
Ooh.
Yeah. So that's called it's called the titles. We don't have to always judge them, but you're allowed to judge this one. It's called Mix Up in the Mediterranean.
Yeah.
And it's on February 20th.
Oh,
So
wait.
check that out. It's me playing twins. They're both chefs. One of them's straight, one of them's gay. And then they both pretend to be one another.
Yeah.
And there's a whole love triangle. It's really zany and fun.
I think that Hallmark should do like what Comic-Con does, because there are millions and millions of people who are obsessed with the Hallmark movies, especially the Christmas ones, but all of them. The Valentine's, you know, Laura Osnes was here about a month and a half ago, and she said this same thing. She said that was the first call she got during the pandemic. They were like, we want you to make this Hallmark movie. And she said it was just so great to like disappear on this Christmas set where there are Christmas trees everywhere. And, you know, just everything was like, and it was like 1,000,000 degrees, you know, everything was quarantined. And she's like, you know, it was so great. Now, I know you don't sing in that movie, Holly and Ivy, but you sort of sang on the set with everybody sort of in between takes, didn't you?
Well, I do that on any set that I've ever been to, Richard. I mean, what do you take me for? You could take the musical theater out of the wait. You can take the boy out of musical theater. You can't take the musical theater out of the boy.
There you go.
That's what I'm going for. It's like I started that off wrong.
But it must have been, like I said, there's such a fantasy world, because Treat Williams was here and Treat Williams made one too. He said it's a whole other world, Hallmark, of where they put you into. But it just must have felt really good to go and do something, do a big piece of work.
Yeah. And you know, there are some restrictions too. Sometimes it's like, sometimes I want to get a little bit, you know, rougher or a little bit, you know, more, have a little bit more passion and you know, it's there are things that you have to kind of like leave at the door, you know, in terms of some of those things. But it's a nice, it's always a lovely product, and it's something that you can basically tell anybody to watch, and everybody's gonna find something to enjoy about it. You can't always be said about most projects.
Yeah, well, like I said, I can't wait for the one in February. And then, Ashley, did you do a benefit concert with your Priscilla Diva girls? Did you do something?
Yes, for No Kid Hungry.
Yeah.
And it was in our front living room, and that was in October, like mid-October. And we had been talking about wanting to do something like this, you know, like at 54 Below, or maybe when all this was over. And I was like, I don't want to wait. Let's do this now. And it was so worth it and so fun. And Ben Rahula put together these amazing medleys for us. And it just was so much fun to sing with them again, because we haven't in any capacity since we were in the show together. And that's such when you're singing, you know, 3-part harmony with people, it's such a close bond that we formed, and our voices really, you know, like meld and mesh well together. And so it was just really special to sing with them.
And a great organization that you did this for too. That was really great.
Yeah.
And then, Jeremy, you got to sing on your friend's Christmas album, right? Didn't you do Hallelujah?
Oh yeah. You know, I've gotten to go into the studio a couple of times during this madness, and it's been really, God, it's like, I was like, oh, this is just freeing and liberating, getting to like go do something that, you know, any kind of music thing that's not just you sitting and trying to set up all of your equipment and trying to be your own audio engineer and all this sort of stuff. But yeah, no, my friend Matt Bloyd asked me to sing on his Christmas album. We sang Hallelujah by Leonard Cohen, and it was
really pretty.
Yeah, it was lovely. It was kind of a rocky, rock and rolly kind of poppy version of it, but yeah,
it's great.
Yeah.
It's a great album too.
We're trying to keep ourselves busy.
Yeah, and then Ashley, you've been doing some master classes too, haven't you?
Just not master classes. I've done like with Broadway Plus, I did a few, like a meet and greet, and doing like the cameo type like messages for people, which has been fun. I would love to do more master class type things. Oh, we did a master class for UC Pack.
Right. Yeah.
So we did do one.
We like judged a singing competition.
Yes, we judged a reality.
Like
we judged a singing competition that they normally do an in-person judging. And so that was really fun for me.
Yeah.
Because you were the surprise guests, and these kids were like blown away when you both popped on, right?
Naturally, we try to surprise at least one person a day.
But it must be so great, because people I've talked to who have sort of done the same thing you did, they said that they learn just as much from like listening to these kids. It's like, oh, I should sing like that, or I should do what they do. I mean, it's like people who have been teaching or just judging these things, they're like, boy, those kids are good. I should pick up what they do. Did you sort of have the same vibe?
I mean, I feel like that I had a connection with that competition because of my background in a competition show. So I felt like I was in a good place to give them feedback, positive feedback, but also, giving them things that would help them, going forward, things that I either would have wanted to hear more during my process in the reality show, or things that I needed, or things that helped me, so I felt like that was beneficial and exciting, for me. But yeah, definitely it was very cool to see, how they handle it and how they're persevering and pushing through and still making things happen during this, pandemic, and going for their dreams. And that's always so lovely to see, stuff that, you do, in your life, you're pushing through and you want to make things happen for yourself, and seeing other people do that and achieve it for themselves is very satisfying. And yeah.
That is great. My final question for, oh wait, Jeremy, did I see a picture of you sleigh riding?
Yeah.
Was that with family?
Yeah, that's when we were in Ohio. It had snowed like,
oh my God,
like 6 inches or something
on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, so on Christmas Day, or maybe it was the next day, I'd never been sledding before.
Yeah. Wow.
I mean, I grew up in South Texas. There was no snow there. And, I've been in snowy weather for my whole adult life, but I guess not growing up doing that. I just never really thought to do it. And my little nephew, who's 6?
Yeah.
He wanted to go sledding, and everybody's like, it's too cold. I was like, I got you.
It was in like the single digits.
Yeah. I was like, I got you. Yeah. And so I borrowed some gloves, and we put our coats on, and it was fun. There's like this big hill where her sister lives. We went down like 9 or 10 times. Of course, after the second time, I had to pull him up every time. Like, it's too steep. So I'm dragging him on this sled. So I got a workout. And and then we had to stop because my butt broke the sled.
Well, there's that too, right?
Yeah. We kind of hit
it was a plastic one. It was one of the
Well, we kind of hit a little curve, and I tried to ride us, and the sled just kind of went bloop, boom, and then my butt broke it.
Okay, because it looked like, I was like, wait a minute, has he never sleigh rided before in the snow?
No, never. I'd never done it before.
Wow.
And he was like, come on, don't you want to go? And I was like, I grew up doing this.
Yeah, it's like,
after doing that, I don't know how she could have said no, because that was fun. Like, that was so fun. I was like, I would do that every day.
I used to love to sleigh, but I'd always do it like head first on the sled, and I'd always lose my new glasses. They would like, I would lose my glasses. My mother would be like, we just paid for those, because I've been wearing glasses my whole life. So it's like, 5 or 6, they would go flying off into a snowdrift somewhere, and I would never find them again. So
were you as aerodynamic back then?
No. Yeah, actually I was, but I could do a lot of stuff, but it was all soft snow. You know what I mean? It was all like, but I just watched your face. It reminded me of like when I was like 5 and 6 and 7, I said, I don't think he's done a lot of this when he grew up. So
No, that was the first time. It was fun.
yeah. Well, my final question for both of you is, what have you both learned about yourselves during this pandemic?
Oh, how deep do we want to go?
Well, it's like when you think, it's like everyone's sort of like just things that they look at their life, or just, everyone's joined at the hip for like, 11 months or.
Well, I said I will have to. I mean, I'll say like for the first time in my life, started going to therapy, and has really benefited me in like more ways than I could imagine, and just trying to take a different outlook about how I sort of lead my life and how I handle things. I think I always tended to put the happiness of other people above my own. And I think after a while, that's a nice sentiment. But I had to start to focus on my own happiness. And once I started doing that, I immediately started noticing changes all around me as well. And so like you can put all of your sort of energy toward other people, but if you neglect yourself in that, then you can only put so much energy towards those other people. And you're actually doing less good than you could if you had put yourself sort of in your happiness, in the forefront. And it never really made sense to me, because I always felt like, oh, that's me being selfish. Oh, that's you just, not people are going to see you as egotistical, and all these things that I've dealt with since I was younger, growing up with, a good voice and people telling me whatever. And so unlearning a lot of those things has been really, having this time to do that has been really, really eye-opening for me. And I don't know that I would have been able to take that time for myself without all of this.
Beautiful. Thank you for being so honest. That's great.
Yeah.
Ashley, for you.
Oh my God, a lot. But I guess to live for today and not tomorrow, to not take things for granted, to just enjoy life, and be more present. I've learned to how to manage my anxiety a lot more, and just that I'm in control of my own happiness, and to make sure that I do something that makes me happy, every day. I mean, and that's hard not to, because of Clara. She makes me smile. The other thing is that I learned so much from her. And I'm changing, not just from the pandemic, but from being, a mother. Things that I used to fear, or put blocks, block things up for myself and build walls. I look at her, and if I don't achieve and go for the things that I want, then I want to be that example for her, if that makes sense. And I want her to see that things are possible. So I need to break down those walls for myself and really just live my life to the fullest. And then she'll, see that, oh, I can do that too. So.
See, that's really beautiful too. I've spoken to so many people that once they had children, and I asked you this question the last time I spoke to both of you. I said, how has being a parent changed the way you look at your life and career? And you both sort of answered that. I mean, you look at her, she's so open. Children have no boundaries. They have nothing. They're just open spirits. And then I think we realize that we've shut so much of ourselves down to be who we think we should be. And that's why I think, like Jeremy, you said, you'll go to therapy, you'll look at life differently. Ashley, it's like, you're taking chances on songs you're going to be singing Sunday, and just looking how you look at life in general, because you see your little one, like she's just so open.
Yeah. And I want to be like her. Seriously.
Yeah.
And what's also really interesting is, she'll do something, bad, or she'll pick something up or do something negative. And then 2 seconds later, it's like you were never angry at her. Yeah. And you're like, I need to apply this to other people and to myself. I can look at this person and immediately forgive them for anything wrong that they ever do, ever, for the rest of their lives. So like, why am I holding on to this thing, this other thing, and this thing? Like, you see what letting go can really achieve in terms of like freeing yourself from that, from any sort of negativity or any sort of like grudge or things like that.
I have one more thing.
Yeah.
To add to that. Well, just about like, and it's in regards to the business. I feel like, pre-pandemic, it's so other people are in control of your destiny. There's not much that you have control over.
Yeah.
You don't have control what auditions you get. You don't have, the only thing that you can control is how you portray yourself when you walk in the room and what you present. And that's it. I felt like very much like my destiny was in other people's hands and like other people making decisions for me. And that is very true. But also during this pandemic, I've, begun to realize that, like I said earlier, like I'm in control of this and I'm going to do things. I'm doing more things for myself here than I would if things were open and we were like living in normalcy. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be going for so many things and like taking my own initiative to like get as much done. So I feel like I'm learning how to apply that better for myself. And I think I need to do that more going forward once things open back up.
Oh, it's going to be great. I think when everything opens up, everyone's going to look at their lives totally different. They're like, you know what, I'm just going to go out there and present myself and go for things I normally wouldn't go for before. And, if you like what I present for you, that's great. If not, I'll go into the next room and I'll do it for somebody else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's going to be the roaring 20s all over again, baby. Like, seriously.
I love it. Okay, so this is really my final question. Since Valentine's Day is right around the corner, we always ask people at Broadway World, what is your favorite Broadway love song or one of your favorite Broadway love songs and why?
Well, back of this chair. Well, the first thing that pops into my mind is probably Falling Slowly from Once, because that was always one of my favorite movies, and then it became a Broadway show, and I was like, oh, that's just like that song. It's like the first thing that popped in my mind when you said that.
Beautiful. Ashley, for you.
God, I don't know. Can I give it away? Something that we're singing?
Sure, I don't care.
Sure.
I love the lyrics, and it's something that I'm singing for the first time, not Jeremy, but I love What You Mean to Me from Finding Neverland. I think it's so intimate and sweet, and the lyrics are so great. And speaking of love, particularly, but yeah.
I love that. Finding Neverland. I spent a lot of time with you, Jeremy, up in at ART. I was obsessed with that production up there. I just thought, and like I said, Preston had just lost his mom. We bawled our eyes during that show. That was so just cathartic for us and everything else. But you were just so magical in that show. And I know I've told you this over and over, and I'm not blowing smoke. You were so good in that. That was such a beautiful production.
Yeah, you did. I saw it a million times myself.
Yeah, Ashley was the biggest fan of that show.
I was the super fan.
Yeah. Well, like I said, just tremendous. Well, like I said, I want to thank you for taking another hour out of your time to sit with me again here at Broadway World. I adore the two of you. I've done since the very first day I met both of you.
Thank you, Rich.
We'll have to say once again that Jeremy and Ashley will be live this coming Sunday night, January 31st at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, with a rebroadcast on Monday, February 1st at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, the Seth Concert Series is produced by Mark Cortali. It is sponsored by Broadway World and StreamYard. Tickets are available at Broadway World events and at Seth Concerts. And I said, just Google these two. Join us for the sound check. Is going to be amazing. Now that I know they'll be setting up stuff, and it may be dinner time for Clara, so we have no idea what the sound check's going to be.
My hair might look like this.
Totally. My camera won't be doing whatever it's doing right now.
Totally.
It's like dark pink. Dark pink. Why is it doing that?
Listen, I love the dark pink. We're gonna. So everybody tune in to see if they change their pink color on their ring light for Sunday night. Listen, everybody stay safe. I love you too. Like I said. Until I see you both in person, I'm going to give you a big hug when I can finally see everybody. Everybody stay safe, wear a mask, wash your hands, and we'll see you Sunday night for their concert with Seth Rudetsky. Take care, everyone.
Bye, Rich.
Bye.